Ah! Huh. This ain't the usual location. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to a brand new live stream. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. I wanted to do one of these because I have a few updates to share with you guys and let you know all the recent content that's coming out here in the next few days. So, as you guys are probably wanting to know is where the hell I have been lately. Been busy, just been doing stuff with some major videos. I've been writing a lot, and I've also I had my aunt and uncle up here that came up from North Carolina, had to come visit, so I haven't really had time to do many videos. So now I'm getting back on track and everything. I'm trying to post as much as I can for you guys. But in terms of big videos coming out, there's a few slight delays, so I'm going to get on that in a sec. Let's just see who's on here. Hello, Malone King. How you doing? So anyway, here are the updates of what's happening with the channel. As you guys probably know, I was supposed to have the top 10 Best Back to the Future Moments video out by the end of August. Unfortunately, there's been a few delays, mostly because, one, I haven't had time to essentially edit the video. I'm already on, like, the number 5 spot, and I'm slowly getting it done. But the other reason is because we have this certain prop we want to put in the video along with a certain cameo, but in order to do that we have to find a right time to shoot it. So the video has been postponed for a couple of months. We're planning to air it either on November 5th or November 12th, which are interesting dates because November 5th is the date that Doc Brown invented time travel, and November 12th is the day that Marty went back to the future. So we're planning to release it on either one of those dates. So by that point, it should be finished. We're just trying to plan out shooting the last bit of the video with a certain prop and cameo, and hopefully all goes well on that part. So let's see how many comments. All right. Yes, we all float down here, Master Builder, and you will too. And in case you're wondering, I have not seen the movie yet. I want to see it so bad. It just looks like a lot of fun. I just have to find time to watch it, and I might do an opening night on that. I know a friend of mine who wants to join in on that review. His name's Evan Matthews. He played Bob in my COG remake. Hi, Skipnot. Hi, Palazzo. I'm doing well. Okay, so anyway, we've got a lot of people here. So that's what the Back to the Future videos. That's going to be delayed in November. Of the next episode of the King Kong reviews, as I've said before, it's going to be basically released at the very end of the year on like December 31st, essentially New Year's Eve. And that's mostly because not only is it going to be the season finale to the Kong reviews, it's also going to be the season finale to this year's run of reviews. So here's the thing, too, is that the Back to the Future video and the finale to the Kong reviews video, massive production qualities to them, and it's a little overambitious, but we want to make it really nice for you guys. So in order to do that, we've had to make a few sacrifices in terms of other content. Originally in this month, I was going to put out a review for Ray Harryhausen's 1 Million Years BC. That's been scrapped for possibly next year, but the biggest sacrifice we're having to make this year is Mummy Month. I was planning to review all 3 Brendan Fraser Mummy movies and the new one in October for Halloween, but again, because of these other 2 major huge videos, I will not have time to work on them. But the good part is that the scripts are essentially finished for those videos, and we're basically going to premiere them later, probably next year, next Halloween 2018, because it's another over-ambitious project, and we want to make it really nice for you guys. And I've gotten a hold of a few people who are going to be helping out on that as well. So, really, honestly, 1 Million Years BC and Mummy Month have been postponed until next year. So that's the plan going forward. The main top priority right now is to film the Back to the Future video, to get the Kong finale going, which I haven't even written a script yet. I've only gotten the last act done in terms of writing. But there's that. The other thing, other updates that's going on, I've also been in a huge writing stage at the moment. I've had my ideas kind of kicking in, and I've been able to write a lot of stuff lately. So a few things that I'm currently writing a new set of reviews for next year. I'm going to be starting to write the season 4 of the Kong reviews, as well as season 4 of the show itself. But the biggest thing I've been writing, honestly, is a script for my next big project. And the next big project is, I've decided it's going to be this Inuyasha fan film I want to work on. And to figure it out, I'm first writing a story outline of basically what I want the whole story to be about, and then I'm slowly writing the script. So I pretty much got the pilot written down, and I'm just currently working on the rest of it. And I'm planning to at least try to get the first script done by the end of the year. But yeah, in terms of where I've just been writing most of the time. I've just been typing, is what I've been doing. So let's just see what's been going on in the comments. Holy shit, we got a lot of comments here. There's King Kong. I know of Attack on Titan. Would I recommend the Tim Curry It series? Yes. Here's something interesting with that movie very quickly. As a kid, it scared the fuck out of me, but now I look at it as an adult. It's a pure comedy with Tim Curry. Like, he is so goddamn funny in that movie. He is a iconic clown. I love the shit out of that character, so I am looking forward to the new one. Will I get a SNES Mini? It's been up in the air, but most likely not, because I have a Super Nintendo. So what's the point of getting another one that's smaller and only has a few built-in games? Whereas I have about 100 games for my own Super Nintendo system. That's the one game console I will collect the most on. I've heard that joke before, Master Builder. I've heard that one before. Have you ever seen a Phantasm movie? Unless you're counting Batman Mask of the Phantasm, then yes. Shere Khan. Who do I think would have been a better Shere Khan voicing him? Oh, you've got some good choices here. Well, James Earl Jones already did Mufasa, so he's out. Actually, Alan Rickman would have been really good if he was still alive. He would have been great in that role, honestly, in my opinion. Let's see. Script on fanfic.net. Thank you, Matthew. In terms of getting it done, it's on hold. I want to get back to it. I just haven't. Again, I haven't had the time really to work on that. But yeah, I've been mostly writing scripts and stuff. All right, see you later, Master Builder. Yeah, I know, it's getting there. The script is just being written at the moment. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to give you guys a little preview of what else I've been working on. As you guys know, I go to conventions, and if you guys saw in the community stuff, I've been posting pictures of my cosplays, most notably 90s Batman and Gandalf. But there's a convention coming up in December. It's called DTAC, and it's basically run by Fan Expo, but it's in December at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. And I am planning something there that's going to be happening, and I'll show you guys it very quickly. He's here on my desk. But currently I'm working on this little itty-bitty project that is also going to be used for the Inuyasha fan film, and that is this guy. This is my first attempt at a Muppet. And it's not just any Muppet, it's Jockin, the character from Inuyasha, who follows Lord Tsushima around. Currently, I've been working on this guy for the past week now, and he's just, all it is just, I bought like just a green plushy creature plushie, and I just cut him up and just kind of detached stuff or reattached stuff. The eyes are just balls painted yellow, and the robe is just a little baby robe thing. But this is going to be used in the project. I just really have to work on the hat, and I have to get the staff made. But this is essentially going to be in the Inuyasha project, is this Jockin Muppet. We're basically wanting to do it the same way that Yoda is done in Star Wars. But that's what I've also been currently working on. I've also been doing a couple commissions for people for cosplays and stuff. I have a friend who wants to cosplay Legolas, Greenleaf, so I'm going to be making the costume for him. And that's in the works right now. So that's something I've also been working on. let's see, what else is there? What do you think of Sailor Jupiter being portrayed? Again, I'll get to that once I get to a lot to talk on that. I do want to talk about the possibilities of a live-action Sailor Moon. I like waffles, and I like them with maple syrup and butter, Matthew. Oh, shit. 5 years next year, Ray Harryhausen? Man, holy shit. It'd be a good time to actually put that review out, honestly. You're gonna have to send me a link, Shadow558. I'll have to check it out when I get the chance. Oh, these jokes, man. You know what? Honestly, Bob Hoskins was a perfect cast for Mario, honestly, even though he wanted nothing to do with that film. King, what'd you think of the fan film? I'd like to know your thoughts. Is that a Yoda with... It's Yoda with crippling... Yes! Oh my god! It's Yoda with crippling depression! Oh, that's funny. Crippling depression I have. I can't take this anymore. I'm gonna go lay down and let the Alzheimer's kick in. That's funny. That is very funny, man. Yoda with crippling depression. That's the Austin Powers movies. You know, I've wanted to go back and watch those because I haven't seen those in a long ass time. Skull and Dinosaur, T-Rex, hands down. Anyway, but yeah, so back to updates. I want to just point that out with you guys. So few videos are being delayed. Some videos are being postponed for next year. I've also been currently writing. But yeah, and the other thing I do want to mention in terms of updates is lately I've just been kind of going through a bit of a life craze thing lately, just trying to figure out where I want to go and everything, because currently, at the moment, I work at a Little Caesars as a sign shaker. I've been working there for 4 years, and I mostly took the job to pay off the budget for Kong. But since YouTube, I've gotten such a cult following from it, and a lot of people watching it, I do want to try to get monetization of some sort on my channel and basically make that a job. Now, I know the apocalypse has been fucking crazy. And basically, a lot of people aren't getting as much as they usually would. And from what I've gathered, I think investing in YouTube is eventually like investing in the stock market, as far as I know, in terms of what I've seen from people. But the thing is I want to try to make this my job, to entertain you guys on YouTube. It's just trying to figure out when I can do that and get the monetization going, and basically make that a job, essentially. It's just I gotta convince a few people about it and everything, but that's another thing that's just been kind of coming up, and why there hasn't been that many videos is also trying to focus on the pizza job, especially before the snow comes in, because if it's snowing, I can't work. So and if it's like -5-degree weather, I can't work. So basically it's just trying to move a transition from like one place where I'm at, just basically taking another step forward in life, and trying to make this a career if I can, is all I'm wanting to do. But that's really it for the updates. So in the meantime, I guess we'll take some questions for you guys. So you guys just fire them away, type away, and I'll answer them as quick as I can. And if you're wondering about the background, because my aunt and uncle had to come in for a week, they had to go into the basement where I usually do this stuff. But right now I'm in basically the computer lab, and where my parents work and everything. So, but actually I like this setting. It's actually a really nice kind of quiet setting. The door's closed. I don't have to worry about sound. And I think I might make this my work spot now. This is actually pretty nice. If you guys like this, let me know. I know it's a little messy because it's the basement, but if you guys like this setting and you think there's better broadcasting waves here, let me know. All right, let's go to some questions. Okay, so I can see Jared Osborne has a few questions about the live-action Sailor Moon, and basically how he wants diversity in the cast. I'll just answer that very quickly. I just think they should be either Japanese or American. And the reason I bring up the American, you're probably wondering, oh, but that's whitewashing and everything. Well, the thing is, Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts, they're not necessarily Japanese. Their origins, they're actually from outer space. Basically, the rule is, if you're from outer space, anything's possible. So you can cast it however you want. So I'm not going to get into that issue right now, but that's all I'm going to say about the whole diversity if there's a live-action Sailor Moon movie. I'd be much happier if they stuck with the original material, or if they just made the excuse, look, they're from outer space, anything's possible. Thoughts on the, let's see here. Do you think it's kind of sad how people only really care about Bruce Campbell just because of Evil Dead? I saw a Q&A video with him. He had nothing but Evil Dead questions. Yeah, you know what? Bruce Campbell is a fucking legend. I like him in anything he's in, honestly. But the question, he was actually at Fan Expo, and I wanted to ask him questions, but his line was way too long. I wanted to ask him about the casting rumors of him playing Jack Driscoll back in '96, because I thought that would have been really interesting. And it's interesting because there's a YouTuber, I forget his name. I think he's been on here a couple times. He did a whole kind of story outline, a visual story outline on what he wanted for his remake of King Kong. And he considered casting-wise, first off, Margot Robbie as Ann Darrow, which I thought that would have been perfect. He wanted Nathan Fillion as Jack Driscoll, but he also wanted Bruce Campbell as Carl Denham, which is funny because he was supposed to be cast as Jack in the 90s, but now he's a little older. He could play Carl Denham. And Bruce Campbell were at Fan Expo, which I thought was really weird, especially after listening to that whole story outline. I thought that was... I would have loved to go up to him and just talk to him about that shit. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on the unmade Superman Lives movie with Nicolas Cage? In some respects, I'm kind of happy they didn't make it because it was just too weird to be Superman. On the other hand, I love the suit, that the ideas for like the costumes that Superman wore, especially like the original, like kind of more 90s looking Superman suit, where they basically looked like they just took the Michael Keaton, Joel Schumacher Batman costumes and they just spray painted it with Superman. I would have liked to see that, but you know, time is like, you know, you can't change the past, and honestly, I think Superman Lives wouldn't have been that good. However, I would have wished EU with both Batman Begins and Superman Returns at least. But I'm fine with the DC movies as it is. Who would you like to see as a villain in Spider-Man Homecoming? For one thing, I have yet to see Spider-Man Homecoming. I haven't seen any movies over the summer. But if I'm going to pick, I want to see Mysterio. I know they've chosen Scorpion for the villain, but fuck, I want to see Mysterio. I remember he was one of my favorite villains in the 90s cartoon, and I really want to see him in some form in the film, in the movies. So that's what I would want to see for a villain. You are a little late, Eric, but we're good. I'm here for a while, so if you have any questions. What would you like if an Alien versus Predator Requiem said Predator? Oh wow, that question is really confusing, Jack. You know what? I would be actually more prefer for RoboCop versus Terminator movie. I really want to see that happen. Made a good Super Nintendo game as far as I know. Holy shit, we got a bajillion questions now. Will you get the Super Sailor Moon game on Super Nintendo? I want the reproduction cartridges of those games because it always bugged me as like even now. It's like when I was a kid, it's like, why didn't we get a Sailor Moon game on the Super Nintendo? Sold really well, but I don't know. Maybe I might do a game review on that if I ever get the game. So possibly. Gear. Who win a fight? King Caesar or Kong? My money's on Kong. I am a team motherfucking Kong man. So yeah, anything he'll fight, I have money on him. What would you think? What would you think would happen if the Legend of King Kong happened at the same time as '76? I think they could have both coexisted with each other. Honestly, I think they would have. But like, then people could have decide which one they like more. I think even though the market would have been saturated, it would have been nice to see both productions kind of either A, do one solid movie together, or two, do their separate movies, and then everybody judges which one's better. and it gives you more of a variety. But it's funny because I remember I read the Crestwood Kong book, and that was where the whole rumor of like the American Japanese version of Kong versus Godzilla came from, where it's like the American version Kong won and the Japanese version Godzilla won. Same book came from that, but also at the time, I think the Crestwood books were made in the 70s, so it was right around when the new Kong came out, and they were when I was reading it, I was like, they're also talking about the upcoming Universal remake, so it's like those books were made prior to the release of 76 when everybody thought Universal was still going to make their version. But I would have loved to see some sort of adaptation of The Legend of King Kong. I always figured if Universal wanted to make some extra dough, they would take the Legend of King Kong script and the 96 Kong script and turn them into at least graphic novels. That I wouldn't mind seeing, because then you could see a real visual interpretation of how those films would have gone down. Or for that matter, I've always considered doing full-on adaptations of those scripts, but in Lego form. It's just, again, finding the time to do that. But if I could, I would. But I would love to see somebody do a really good quality Lego adaptation. Sorry, the phone's ringing like crazy. I would love to see somebody do a full-fledged Lego high-quality adaptation of Legend of King Kong and Kong 96. That I would love to see, honestly. Zilla versus Skullcrawler. Skullcrawler kicked the shit out of Zilla. Zilla's just kind of just I think actually it'd be probably a draw, honestly. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the upcoming Jurassic World movie? I'm excited. Like, I'm super hyped for that, but I'm not as excited as I was for the fourth one. So because honestly, it was pretty obvious from the box office results of the fourth film that Jurassic World was going to get another one, and they were going to make a fifth film. So I'm hyped, but not as hyped as I was for 4. All right. Why do I really hate Jurassic Park 3? Again, Jurassic Park 3, it's bad on it's not like bad. Like, I've seen far worse movies, in my opinion. I just think like there's a lot of stuff that they took with the mythology and the legacy that the first film had and just put it down the drain, shoved it in the shitter hole, because they just kind of ruined so much established stuff that was key to the last 2 movies. Like the whole Alan Grant got friend zone thing, never married Ellie Sattler, that was a bummer. The fact that they went more for a lighter tone with the comedy, the whole Alan thing, was completely ridiculous. And also the T-Rex killing, the Spino killing the T-Rex, that was bullshit, honestly, and that killed the movie. And I didn't see it until it came out on home video, and I realized, you know what? It's a fun B-movie. It's a fun popcorn B-movie. There's stuff to like. I will say, there are, as I said in my review, there are things to like about that movie. Grant's obsession with the raptors. That was a great concept, and for what they tried to pull off, it was fine. I just wish we could have explored more with it, like maybe having, like, that's why Ellie left, because he got so addicted. He went all Dr. Loomis from Halloween with Michael Myers that pretty much everybody connected to him kind of just, like, said, okay, fuck, you're obviously nuts. You're too obsessed. You need help. If you don't get help, I'm out. So that's why I think Ellie left Grant, because he got so obsessed with the raptors at the time. And, but yeah, there's some good parts about Jurassic Park 3. I just feel like for what they did with the established canon, it's the same bullshit they did with Alien Covenant. It's the same kind of fuck the mythology bullshit with Jurassic Park 3. All right, holy shit, we keep getting questions after questions here. How do you feel about Adam West passing away? I was so bummed out, man. That was one of the biggest losses of this year for me. Because Adam West, I'll be honest, was my first Batman. When I was a kid, would watch the Batman show every afternoon at 5:30 on the Space Channel. And that was when I really started to really get connected with my dad and everything. So Adam West really helped me with that. Luckily, thank God, last year at Fan Expo 2016, I actually did get the chance to meet him and Burt Ward together. And they were really gracious and really nice. So I'm really thankful that I at least got to meet the guy. And I'll always be grateful for that chance. Trying to put a link so you can watch it. Send me a link in a message, Mon. Send me a link in a message, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, they could have coexisted, honestly. Do you have thoughts on the unmade Spider-Man 4 movie? I actually really wish that movie was made, and that honestly, the Tobey Maguire movies were in canon with the MCU. Because I remember I used to have like a buddy, a Big Brother. I was part of a Big Brother program, and I had one of those Big Brother guys that I got to hang out with. And he really kind of got me into the fandom of Spider-Man. I mean, I love the first two, but when Spider-Man 3 came out, we were both excited. And I heard from him that they were planning to make another two sequels. They were planning to go up to 5 movies, and that the 5th film would involve Carnage. And I remember being really excited after. I mean, even though Spider-Man 3 wasn't the best, I was still hopeful for the future of the franchise. But then Sony said we're not doing them. I'm like, man, Sony, you're fucking assholes right now. I mean, granted, nothing against Sony, because honestly, here's a fun fact. My Spice World review, once I put it on YouTube, it got a copyright claim by Sony. And I sent them saying, look, it's under fair use, it's fine. They said, okay, cool, it's back up. So I have to thank Sony on that part. But, I mean, in terms of how they handle their franchises, yeah, you got to handle them a little properly. I mean, you're great business people. You make awesome cameras. Like, look at this shit. You guys make awesome cameras. But, man, you need to figure out how to control your franchises properly and make them good. Is all I have to say about Sony. Let's see. Who else is here? Holy shit, there's a lot of questions. Well, a lot of Jurassic Park 3 questions. I'll be honest, there's a lot of those. Kong versus Dinosuchus? Kong. Because I was planning to do either a Dinosuchus and Kronosaurus in my remake in the river sequence, and Kong was basically going to snap his back like Bane in Dark Knight Rises, but unfortunately, I've never scrapped that. But anything, my money's on Kong, honestly. Alright, so I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I got to get out of here because I got to get back to work. I know this is a very short live stream, but I just want to give you guys updates on stuff. So I'll answer about 3 more questions, and then I'll call this a day on this live stream. So let's see. What would you like if Jack Hamilton asks, what would you like if a scrapped comic book film like Superman Lives, Batman Triumphant, Spider-Man 4 got comic book adaptations? Then I would buy them. That's the thing. Like, I know a lot of studios nowadays are, like, especially Lucasfilm and Skull Island, a lot of stuff. They're using a lot of material that they never used in past projects and now bringing them into these projects. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, Star Wars did that a couple times. They had stuff for canceled projects, and then they said, let's use it in this. Okay. Credit has to be given that while the Amazing Spider-Man movies are not that good, honestly, I am not a fan of those movies. At least when they did the first Amazing Spider-Man, they essentially used what they had from the original Spider-Man 4 script. They used the Lizard, and they used certain elements from that. So that's the thing. I love how Hollywood is taking projects that they thought were crap and canceling them, and now saying, let's use them and let's use these ideas, but in projects that actually work. So that's the thing. Like, some canceled projects, I know there's a lot of like films and documentaries about the making of these canceled projects, but let's do comic adaptations, because at least then you can still give out your original product, but give it in a way that, like, idea of what this could have been like. An example of that is when Lucasfilm released the Star Wars comics, which were of George Lucas's original treatments before they had a final draft. And they're fascinating reads to see, like, okay, this is what Star Wars could have been like. So let's see projects turn into comics. I'm all for that idea. Shut up and take my money. What do you think of an anime adaptation of the Jurassic Park franchise? It'd be interesting. I would more like to see it as like maybe like kind of a storybook like those Kong mangas, or at least other anime. I don't see really Jurassic Park as a manga or anime. It'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting idea. I know a lot of you. Apparently, that Kong manga video, that Kong anime video actually did pretty well. I'm surprised so many people have questions about this. How would you react if Kikyo was in real life with you? You'll have to find out when I start working on this production. You'll have to find out there. I'm not going to reveal much about this project. However, if you want to see the full on what I've written so far, go down to fanfiction.net, and I basically have the first 2 books finished in a very quick rough draft. But then I also have the almost finished 3rd book down there. So if you want to see what the story is essentially going to be, link below to earlier drafts of the story on my fanfiction page. Who would you have cast as Anne in The Legend of King Kong? I would have been fine with Susan Blakely, honestly, when she was cast back then. I'm trying to think if there's any other 70s celebrities that would have been good for that part. I know Farrah Fawcett was considered, Cher was considered, Meryl Streep got completely panned because everybody thought she was too ugly, which I feel bad for her because she's an incredible actress. But yeah, I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head who would be a good Anne back then, because the 70s were kind of an odd time, and it's just hard to figure out. But honestly, Susan Blakely would have been perfect. The Legend of King Kong came to fruition. All right, so I'm going to answer one more question, and then I'm going to call it a day. So fire away. One more question. Actually, Alejandro, the Skullcrawlers basically are taken from the original King Kong when the lizard creature is attacking Jack in the chasm. Okay, time for one more question. Fire away. The first one that comes up, I'll read it. Or whenever one I think looks the best. But yeah, so would you do a Let's Talk on a 3rd Dragon Ball Z movie? You mean like a live-action movie, or how I would reboot it? Yes, I would like to do a Let's Talk on that, because honestly, like, the thing is, there is potential for a good Dragon Ball Z movie. And it's not, but the problem is with things like Dragon Ball Evolution and, you know, the one from China or whatever, they're so low budget. Dragon Ball Z needs a big motherfucking budget. You're looking at around $200 million for at least an adaptation of the Frieza saga. Or even the Cell saga at that price. That's the thing with Dragon Ball Evolution. It was so low budget, and it was just the studio just throwing it out there. They couldn't give a fuck about it. But if you really take your time on it and put good effort into it, like Jackson did with Lord of the Rings, you could put out a really good product that people would like. The other issue I have is, like, it's sad. I'll leave off with this saying. It is sad that Man of Steel is less of an adaptation of Superman, but a better adaptation of Dragon Ball Z than Dragon Ball Evolution. That's saying something. Look at Man of Steel. It is a pure adaptation, the closest thing we're going to get to a Saiyan Saga adaptation on the big screen. So, that, in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, that's really it for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream and got to hear all the updates and everything and see what's been happening on the channel. There's a lot of projects coming up. There's a few projects delayed. There's a few projects postponed. But overall, there's stuff coming out. I will leave you off by saying there will be a video coming later today, a really nice video that's from my Kong fan film. That is another kind of pre-production tape or whatever. That's coming later today or tomorrow for you guys to enjoy that. And but yeah, for now, I'm going to basically head out and get some work to do. Thank you all so much for watching and answering these questions. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until next time, this is BigJackFilms, signing off.